we're going to take that very rounded, go to the left. In this video, we're going to sharpen a bayonet. Now, when I demonstrate this tool at live shows, gun shows, hunting shows, there'll typically be a couple of guys walking around, they purchase an old bayonet and they want to get it sharp. Now, a bayonet typically was never really made for a lot of slicing. It was made for right? To punch a hole in someone. So it's very typical to find a bayonet. The edge is just not very sharp at all. We're going to check that out. You can see it's pretty flat. It's pretty dull. You run your thumb over there. There's really nothing going on. So a perfect candidate for the SELECTOOL. Go ahead and put this against the side of the table and just do this like any other blade. I want you to start at the tip and fit the blade in the notch, and you can see the self-centering auto-locking guide. You can see the operation. Just fit the tip and favor the inside edge. Don't rest it on the outside. Don't do that. That's too broad of an angle. You won't like the results. Now, I will say, if you have a knife that is very dull, very rounded, okay, and you try to take off the appropriate amount of metal to get a nice thin slicing edge, depending on what you're working with, it might be too hard, it might be too dull, it might be too rounded, you won't be able to get this angle right off the bat. You might have to settle for this angle to start with and then work it down to a narrow angle. So it's like a two-step process. Let's go ahead and work that and you can see it for yourself. So we typically do not put a knife flat on the outside guide. We typically don't do that. But in this video, we're going to do that to show you what happens to sharpen a blade in a two-step process. We're going to take that very rounded bayonet edge. We're going to go off to the side one. We're going to go after the side two. Kind of laying it off. We typically don't do that. We typically put the blade in here and let it nestle and find the inside edge. But here, because the blade is very rounded and dull, we're going for the outside. And you can still smooth that out if you want. And look, that's a much sharper edge. Right off the bat, it's a much sharper edge. Not exactly what we're looking for yet, but it's much sharper. Okay, let's continue on. Now that we've got some of an edge on here, we're going to make it a very sharp edge. So, put the blade in the notch and press and sharpen. And sharpen in sections until that entire edge is nice and clean. You can use your thumb. The thumb is excellent for adding leverage. See, there's sometimes when you have a really tough edge and it doesn't want to give up. Well, you have the technique, you have the tool, you just have to stay with it and work that. Let that SELECTOOL, if you have to turn this over, sometimes your insert has gotten kind of dull, okay? Turn it over. Use the other side. Keep going after that until you feel that that edge has gotten established, okay? That's the side one. Repeat. Get more of that narrow angle. Use your thumb. Press in there. Use the leverage. So continue sharpening. Side one. You can use your thumb. Generate leverage. Make sure that edge, because you've got a really tough edge here. It's a lot of metal that hasn't been really sharp, maybe ever. And that happens. You run into blades that are like that. It's never really been very sharp. Did side one. Do side two. Let that insert bite. And just work with it. And feel it coming. You can see it. Those little shavings coming off of there. And work both sides. Make it nice and clean. Check out that edge. And then go to the right. And go to the left. And then smooth the edge. Go to the right, go to the left. Let's check that out. A lot better. Never a slicing edge to begin with, but we've got an edge on here, okay? If you want to go slice and dice some tomatoes or grapes, well, use a different knife. If you want to get out there and have this as a hunting, as a camping knife, you at least got something to go with. That's so you can take a nothing edge and make it pretty sharp. Just use the select tool. Happy sharpening.